All right, welcome, Aseel.
How are you guys? Good? Everybody's good? Okay. I think I'm gonna just start it up, go over my portfolio, and then if guys have questions, just ask them. Anything portfolio related or school related or whatever, and we'll go from there, I guess. So just share my screen, and so the portfolio that I have is 20 pages, and it's made up of 5 projects. Three academic, one competition, and like a research project. So here, when I was applying, I included my CV. I don't think you have to do it, but I just felt like it would help the person just to see what I did and stuff. So I included all the stuff at that time that I was doing with the school, and then just some of the skills, the typical. Maybe that's not a good idea anymore to lay out all those skills, right? Um, and the contents, this is what I initially talked about with the projects, but I'm also giving like a sneak peek of each one of the projects that I had. Maybe sometimes it's not good to do a contents page, so you leave them surprised. That's also a good idea. Um, this was the first project that I placed, and I think it's one of my stronger projects. This was the final design studio in third year, and it was design of student residence in Spadina. Um, and so I'm gonna just move a little bit faster because there's less time, I guess. So basically, what I did was I have my diagram of how I came up with the concept for the building and like a final image of the building. And here I'm just showing the 3D printed model that I had within the site. So I'm highlighting like model photography, right? And on the right is like a site analysis showing the transportation and services in the vicinity, right? Um, this like I think it captures the project well because it shows the the how the space is being inhabited. So you should always ask yourself that question, like how is my space being inhabited? And this was like a student residence, so you'd imagine that it's busy at the lobby areas, and how each space is like sort of how people are sitting within the space. And on the right, I just included like a little text box of the programs. And on the left side here is just a model that I built showing the room configurations. And on the right is like a fisheye render view. So show variation in your rendering. So this like fisheye is not like not a lot of people would do that. So just show variation. Here are just some plans. It's important to show that you can do plans. So this page is just dedicated to that. That like, oh, I can do plans with hatches and stuff. But I've seen better ones now. But at that time, I think it was like good. um, and this was the housing studio. So it was based off of the president, and the president that I had was Villa Stein by Record. And I'm just showing what I took from the space with my research, and then made that constructed it in real life with like a material study of rockite and plexi. And here's a sign analysis of the space. So we're just showing the different typologies that were present and floor plans of my building. And here's like an axle of the building within the site. And these sections here are flat sections because I tried to highlight the roof garden and the greenhouse. And it's important to show variation. So previously I did like a perspective section, and now I'm doing flat ones. Just show that you can do different types of drawing. This is the Art 201 studio, simple box design, just showing how I got my concept from the Goldring Center, how each floor was dedicated to a specific activity. So I followed that same concept. So each floor is dedicated for a specific type of studying, and I try to highlight that with drawings that I created. Here's a competition that I worked on with like engineering students, and we placed like the honorable mention. We placed like top 9 out of 44 universities. And here I'm just showing analysis and construction of the of the tower. So it's like a seismic resilient tower. So the important thing here is like testing it. So we did testing with balsa wood and analysis of the tower itself and how it would resist seismic activity in Vancouver. And the final project that I worked on was as part of Stephen Vertiber's like book that he wrote, and it was the construction of a grit shell in Nova Scotia. So here I'm just showing construction. My role was like a fabricator, and I did all like the gluing of the lads and drilling of the structure itself. And in the final, I'm just showing how the grit shell was laid out with the different layers that it had, and that's it. And if you guys have questions, you can ask any of them right now.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no worries. Questions.
We have 6 minutes.
6, that's a lot of time. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
any questions, just to help you out,
I'm curious, is the seismic competition you entered the UTech one?
UTech as in like,
Let me try to find it.
it's called University of Toronto Seismic Design Team.
Oh, okay. Because somebody has been sharing a competition in our Discord server as well. That's, I think, similar. It might be the same thing.
It might be. I'm not sure, but this one, like, you see how I put for each one, like the role that I played in, and this one, I think they do like a hiring sort of process in the summer. Like at that time when I did it was like August 2018 maybe, and they hired me as like an architecture lead, and basically the role that I played was all the drawings and renderings, and I also took part in constructing the tower itself. But I think you have to apply for it. Maybe it changed, maybe it didn't, but you apply for it, and then because it does take up the whole year. That's what I remember.
Oh, okay. It's probably a different one.
But there are lots of competitions out there. This is just one of them. There's so many competitions out there. Yeah, I think it's good to show the viewer that you can do different things. So you show your academic work, show competitions, and show like some other thing. Maybe I didn't include any personal ones, but people do include like photography or sketching, painting. How important do you think the streams are in helping you build a strong portfolio? The streams. So I was in the design stream. I think one of the things that stream does is just it helps you draw because you're continually drawing. The tech stream, I think the focus is really research. So the stuff that I did for seismic design, that's the type of stuff you would do in tech too. And history is more writing oriented, right? I wanted to ask. So the workflow that I followed was Rhino and then V-Ray and then Photoshop for the rendering. But for line work, you would just do Rhino, clean up your lines, and then go to Illustrator. But I think V-Ray becomes your friend at one point. It's really helpful, not a lot of pressure, to do V-Ray renders. Any other questions? Yeah, no worries.
Oh, I noticed that your model photos are really well made. Like they were like cut out, right?
Yeah. So I think that that's what you got to showcase, right? That you can draw, you can render, you can take good model like photos. What else can you do? You can do research. That's what you need to show, right? That you're like a well-rounded person for architecture student. Um, Questions?
Do you have any tips for taking good model pictures?
Yeah, I think that natural lighting helps a lot. So try to take your photos in natural light. They help a lot. Outside helps a lot too. And it depends on the look that you're trying to go for, right? Sometimes placing your model on a patch of grass will actually make it come out, or placing it on concrete. Concrete really helps too. But in my case, I'll just remove the background. So uh, that's one way of doing it too.
Yeah, that's smart. Instead of having different backgrounds. Okay, we
Yeah,
have two. Oh, you can go ahead. But we have 2 more minutes, and then when we return to the main session, people will still have a bit of time to ask like general questions as well.
yeah. If you have any questions, just ask them. I think it helps the students to it provides relief in a sense, you know. Um,
Yeah, I already asked George this because I think he's also in Daniels, right? But
yeah,
how do you like the master's program so far?
I think master's program. I think it's good, but I just feel like it's a little bit repetitive in first year. I just feel like we're waiting for everybody or some that type of thing. We're waiting for everybody to catch up, I guess. Um, and online school doesn't help at all. I think the online portion makes it even not difficult, but I just feel like I like being in person, but right now we don't have that choice. So I guess we have to continue this until everyone's vaccinated.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
Yeah.
All right, we have 20 seconds. Does anyone have any question? I don't think we have time to answer. Do you like using Miro and like
Well, my prof doesn't like using Miro, so we have to present with PDF every day.
what? Oh,
It's
that's
hard because
unfortunate.
yeah, you have to. Yeah, she doesn't like using Miro.
All right.
Yeah, man. No online school. I don't like it.
Okay, so I don't know if Sadie is going to be snapping us back.
Mm. Yeah, he's got to end it, and then we'll all be back in the main room.
Oh, Aseel, how did you decide which schools to apply to?
Um, so I applied to UBC, UofT, and then Columbia University in the States. And I got into all three of them, but I UofT, UBC was just I just applied there as just for the sake of applying. I didn't really apply because I wanted to go to Vancouver. Okay, I'm just gonna answer this. And then Columbia University, I was really passionate about that one, but they didn't fund me enough.
Mm,
So the funding was the problem.